Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Jerry Conway, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Yeah, once again, no Jerry Conway, just for the hell of it. All right, kids, welcome back to week 2 of Defenduary 2024. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, here on Marvel Tales, it is Defender for a minute.
Justin the Owl, swooping back in to talk about a different era of Defenders.
So, that's right, kids. This time, if that clever Justin intro there didn't give it away, yes, we're doing Defenders for a day from Defenders 62 through 64. I just learned that there's like a name for this arc, so.
Oh?
Yeah, just looking at the notes. Yeah, it's make sure I get this right. It is a mouthful. All right. Dollar Bill's documentary disaster.
Oh. Well, that is an accurate title, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this was one of your picks, Phil. You picked this story for us, yeah.
I know Will and I had been talking about doing this for a while when we were like doing the Quantum Zone and stuff. Because yes, we do get an appearance by Wendell Vaughn in this when he was going by Marvel Man.
Marvel Man, his original guys, yeah.
Oh my God. Cool. Yeah, there was back in the day, we still laugh about this. We covered there was like a crossover. Was in this? It had to be like late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, Quasar, when we first showed up in 78. But there was a Hulk Captain America crossover, and Wendell Vaughn was in there as Marvel Man. And at one point, he gets like, I forget, the Hulk hits him or something, but he gets like knocked like a mile away into the street, and he picks himself up. Some kid's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Marvel Man." And the kid's like, "Marvel Man? That's a stupid name."
Who came up with that? I love it.
Oh, but
that's great.
At this day, it's just like, that's a stupid name.
That's a stupid name.
That's what I missed. Just like 70s Marvel. It's like we didn't worry about what was going on in a TV show or a movie. They just did whatever they wanted to do.
and it was silly, but there was also, I don't know, they balanced it out. They balanced out the silliness with some other stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're serious stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I should have did for the intro. That quote from Dollar Bill: "The daring defenders fight evildoers of all sizes, shapes, colors, and time periods."
Time periods.
So, had you read this before?
I think I had read one issue of this, but not the whole 3-issue set, and so it was nice to read this for the first time. And the next story that you picked, I haven't read, so that one I'm excited about too.
Yeah, this one I hadn't read the whole thing either. So
nice.
All right. Should we jump in? Because again, there's
we got 3 issues here. Yeah.
All right. So yes, the first part of Dollar Bill's documentary disaster, Defenders 62 from jumped ahead a little. Covered August 1978. Part 1, Membership Madness. Writer David Kraft, penciler still here from last episode, Sal Buscema, and Jim Mooney still on ink.
Yeah, years later.
Yes, colorist Bob Sharon, letterer John Costanza, and editor
Costanza.
Oh yeah, I mean back in the day there was nothing that you'd go years with the same artist and stuff, and unlike these days.
Maybe 6 issues with the same artist now.
You go like a year or two, and then they renumber.
Mm-hmm. Volume 12 coming next year.
Yeah, probably the Punisher. Poor Punisher. All right. This story opens up at the Richmond Riding Academy, the current headquarters of the Defenders. The 4 members of the team, Hellcat, Hulk, Nighthawk, and Valkyrie, are enjoying a quiet evening and prepare to play a game of Frisbee. Both the Hulk and Valkyrie claim unfamiliarity with the game. I still can't get over the Richmond Riding Academy.
Yeah. Very posh. Very posh.
Oh, yeah. Hellcat throws the Frisbee far away, using her enhanced strength and agility. Nighthawk uses the jetpack of his uniform to fly and catch the Frisbee. He then tosses the Frisbee to the Hulk and instructs him to throw it to Val. The Hulk does as he is told, but throws the Frisbee with incredible speed and strength. The disc is too fast for Valkyrie to catch. It ends up hitting her with great impact and sending her flying back. Her superhuman physiology ensures that she emerges unharmed, but Nighthawk declares that the game is over. The Hulk apologizes for unintentionally hurting Val. At this moment, their associate Dollar Bill is excitedly invites them to watch his Defenders documentary on their television. Hellcat observes that he never informed them that he was producing a television special about them. Dollar explains that he was prepared to surprise them. Nighthawk is angry since the existence of the Defenders was supposed to be a secret. Their friend just blew their cover, so Nighthawk threatens to sue Dollar Bill for profiting from an unauthorized documentary about them. Dollar claims that he has just made Nighthawk a star. He was honestly expecting the leader of the Defenders to thank him, but Nighthawk gives him a creep, or calls him a creep. While Nighthawk is angry, Hellcat is excited. She cannot wait to see herself on television and does not intend to miss any minute from the documentary. She drags along an unexcited Hulk. Nighthawk recalls that Hellcat is a former fashion model and loves publicity. Val instructs Nighthawk to calm down, pointing out that the damage is already done and his angry words cannot undo it. She also points out that Dollar Bill was acting with good intentions. Nighthawk calms down a bit, though he is still expecting trouble from this documentary. Val instructs Dollar Bill to never act without permission again before leading the 2 men inside. As the team is waiting in front of their television set, Nighthawk complains about the television commercials. The Hulk claims that he does not like to watch television and threatens to smash the television set. Hellcat wishes she had some popcorn to eat while watching. The television broadcast begins, and the documentary called The Dynamic Defenders contains footage from the latest adventures of the Defenders, starting with the Xenogenesis saga when the Defenders prevented the rebirth of the demon race on Earth. The film depicts the Hulk destroying an aircraft of the United States Air Force. It informs people that Valkyrie recently killed Doctor Strange while he was in monster form, an act which freed and restored the sorcerer. The film proceeds with footage of the Defenders teaming up with Spider-Man against Lunatic. Dollar Bill claims in the film that Spider-Man is a hero and that the Daily Bugle was wrong about him. Dollar Bill also informs people that Lunatic loves to crack people's skulls with his steel stuff. Nighthawk is surprised because the documentary depicts Lunatic's escape path in their latest encounter. Nighthawk was unaware of how Lunatic managed to escape and had not thought there was a secret passage around. The other Defenders were also unaware of it. Since Dollar Bill did not tell them about it, Valkyrie wonders how Lunatic found out about the passage, but the Hulk does not really care about Lunatic and his secrets. The documentary continues, and Dollar Bill explains to the viewers a key difference between the Avengers and the Defenders. He claims that the Defenders are a non-team with no charters and no rules. Anyone with superpowers can declare himself a Defender and automatically become a member.
Bad idea.
Oh, hello, Noel. O-ring. And then Nighthawk has his brain back. Well,
yes.
Kind of.
For the most part.
Yes. Dollar Bill personally invites superhumans to join the team and declares the address on television. Richmond Riding Academy, Nassau County, Long Island, New York. He wants heroes to join the team as quickly as possible. Dollar Bill informs viewers that he is the Defender's press agent and that he is going to exclusively film their exploits. He calls the Defenders his own team as if he has rights over them. The documentary ends. Nighthawk is enraged that Dollar Bill has become the team's self-appointed press agent. He accuses Dollar Bill of using them to get exclusive footage. Dollar Bill is rather intimidated, but Hellcat instructs Nighthawk to calm down. Valkyrie agrees with Patsy as she can see that the team's veil of anonymity is gone, but does not consider this to be the end of their world. Hellcat, on the other hand, is happy and considers her a television star. The Hulk does not get the star reference and tells Hellcat that she is not a burning light in the sky.
Catgirl is Catgirl.
Nighthawk states his belief that Dollar Bill just ruined the Defenders because everyone will want to be a Defender. Valkyrie thinks that Nighthawk is overreacting to the situation. The scene shifts to the Soviet Union. Oh God, the presence hovers over a desolate wasteland which is filled with the melted wreckage of various vehicles. He claims that his fears have been realized. He and his allies in the Soviet government had desperately tried to mask their mistakes and to deny their indiscretions. An experiment gone awry was covered by the seal of secrecy, and they hoped that the problem would just go away. From what he can see, the truth is about to emerge triumphant, and in this case, the truth is ugly, alien, and deadly dangerous. The President and his allies were aloof and secure, serene in their protective cocoon of bureaucracy and technology. Then they were humbled. The problem can be contained no longer, and it is currently demands its due. The President feels that he has sinned against humanity. Now his sin has come back to haunt him and to haunt his people. The scene ends. The scene skips ahead to the following morning in the Richmond Riding Academy. The doorbell keeps ringing loudly, and an annoyed Nighthawk intends to open the door to see who is doing the ringing. To Nighthawk's surprise, he finds Dollar Bill sleeping on the floor right next to the door. All this noise has failed to wake him up. Nighthawk opens the door and is greeted by an army of superheroes who want to join the Defenders. The spokesman of this group is Hercules, who claims that this is the Defenders' finest day. Nighthawk thinks this is a disaster for his team and blames it on Dollar Bill. He wakes up Dollar Bill and kicks him out of the academy with instructions to never return. The Falcon scolds Nighthawk for mistreating Dollar Bill. Nighthawk reacts by grabbing one of the Falcon's legs and tries to pick a fight with him. The two of them take off flying. Falcon manages to free himself from Nighthawk's hold and tries to convince his opponent they are part of the same team. Nighthawk flies after him, intending to chase away the would-be defender. Falcon deduces that Nighthawk is a serious attitude problem. Jeez. Oh, my Lord. This synopsis.
Yeah, this is a long one, isn't it?
Well, a lot happens.
Yeah.
Hellcat, the Hulk, and Valkyrie have woken up and gaze at the gathered heroes through the window. Hellcat is very happy to see many good-looking males turning up at her doorstep. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Patsy.
She thinks that she and Val can choose potential mates among these men. The Hulk does not like what he sees and asks Valkyrie's permission to smash the crowd. Hellcat's like, yeah, I'm right ahead of you, pal. Valkyrie denies him permission and identifies the gathered heroes as their guests. She intends to show them hospitality. Val asks Patsy to prepare morning coffee for the crowd. Hellcat denies the request as she keeps having trouble with the team's coffee pot. She intends to mingle with the crowd and show off her new shadow cloak. Valkyrie decides to prepare the coffee herself and asks the Hulk's help. The Hulk is disappointed that he is not allowed to smash. Well, it's kind of, the day starts off rough when you can't get that first morning smash. And
that's true. That's who sets your day off on the wrong angle when you can't get that.
Outside, Hellcat is greeted by Captain Ultra, Paladin, and Torpedo. They are impressed with her looks, but Torpedo tells her that he is already married. Hellcat tells him that this is only bad for him, a comment which Torpedo seems to dislike. Hellcat starts flirting with Captain Ultra, and he tries to impress her. Nearby, Nova has located the horses of the Academy and intends to ride one. He suggests a competition to Marvel Man, Wendelon, on which one of them will get to the horses first. He takes off flying. Marvel Man chases after him, and the White Tiger voluntarily joins the race. Elsewhere, a few of the would-be defenders discuss about the leadership of the team. Black Goliath suggests finding a leader to handle all these hotshots in the team. Jack of Hearts nominates Captain Marvel for leadership. Miss Marvel, Havoc, Tagak, and Stingray all voice their support for Captain Marvel. The captain turns down the offer because he thinks there is someone more qualified than him. The captain nominates Hercules because this hero is a former Avenger, has served as the former leader of the Champions, and is a seasoned warrior, and is a proven leader of men. Miss Marvel wants the Defenders to be a democratic team and suggests that their leadership should be elected. 9 heroes immediately vote for Hercules. Hercules accepts the duty and promises to serve as long as the team needs him. Meanwhile, Nova gets to the horses first. Nova, Marvel Man, the White Tiger, and the Prowler each pick a horse to ride. They are enthusiastic but inexperienced riders. Their moves scare the horses, and they all have a difficult time staying on their saddles. However, they do manage to learn how to tame their horses, and with their riding experiences enjoyable, the White Tiger feels like a noble caballero. Above them, Nighthawk is still chasing Falcon. An aerial maneuver scares the horses again, and they almost throw down their riders. The 4 riders tame the horses again, but they are enraged with Nighthawk and the Falcon. They ride after the flying heroes, intending to get revenge. Back in the academy, Valkyrie and the Hulk are serving coffee to the gathered heroes. Valkyrie has trouble recognizing her former ally, Miss Marvel, because Carol is wearing a new version of the Miss Marvel suit. Stingray hopes to avoid being recognized by his old foe, the Hulk. There's a problem with the coffee served as Valkyrie has no previous experience with making coffee, and she did not think of adding any cream or sugar.
Oops.
Her coffee is way too strong and bitter, with most of the heroes simply taking a sip and throwing it to the ground. Stingray calls this coffee a devil's brew, and the son of Satan agrees with him. Captain Marvel is certain that even Thanos would be unable to drink this. Hercules shows his disgust for the coffee to Valkyrie, who feels insulted. Nearby, Torpedo is summoned Black Goliath, Havoc, Iron Fist, and Tagak for a secret meeting. He tells them that the Hulk is a menace and then it is their duty to capture him. He starts explaining his plan to do so. In another location, Captain Ultra and Jack of Hearts compete for the attention of Hellcat. Captain Ultra gets territorial and starts arguing with Jack. Hellcat realizes they're about to fight and tries to calm them down. Ultra accuses her of playing the field and is toying with them. He shoves her angrily aside, an action which Jack finds insulting. They start arguing again and exchange insults. Their argument is about to get into a fist fight, but they have failed to notice the 4 heroes on horseback approaching. The 4 of them are chasing after Nighthawk and the Falcon, and their galloping horses nearly trample Ultra and Jack. Elsewhere, Hulk has isolated himself from the crowd. He stands alone behind a tall bush and contemplates his situation. He does not like so many heroes being around, and Valkyrie has forbidden him to smash them away. He does not like where this is going and thinks about quitting the team. He is then ambushed by Torpedo and his group as they emerge from the bushes and attack the Hulk. Hey, the end.
Wow. That was a long one, Phil.
I know. That's what she said.
Hey-o.
All right, what you think, Justin?
I thought that this was so much fun, and like we were saying in the last episode with Noel, like you couldn't really get away with this type of story in, let's say, the Avengers or
No,
obviously the Fantastic Four, but the X-Men. Like you couldn't get away with telling this type of story in any other type of team book in Marvel at the time, other than the Defenders. So yeah, this was so funny, and some of these heroes, like Captain Ultra, like.
I know.
I'd completely forgotten about Captain Ultra and his hideous costume, and Tagak I'd completely forgotten about. I was happy to see the Prowler,
Yes.
because he's a favorite character of mine obviously from the Spider-Man days, and he was never really featured on any teams other than the Outlaws. Which was years later, which
In
was
the
years
90s,
after
yeah.
this. Yeah. So that was really cool to see him as part of this. What I couldn't understand was just, I mean, I get how Nighthawk is angry because of what Dollar Bill did with the documentary and just how he made a complete blunder out of all this stuff, but just the way that Nighthawk kind of takes off after Falcon and like basically antagonizes him into an aerial battle. Like I thought, wow, way to absolutely escalate this out of proportion, Nighthawk.
My lord, you should see the notes on this thing. It's like all the previous appearances of all these characters. That's that long ass synopsis didn't even mention Iron Man shows up for like 2 seconds and like takes off.
Oh, right. He has a message. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. For Hellcat. Because she was in the Avengers for all of 5 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this must be Marvel Man's only second appearance because it said he previously appeared in Captain America 218, which was his first appearance.
It
So
was the debut, yeah.
yeah,
Marvel Man, yeah.
yeah. So this will be only his second appearance.
And I have to say, I'm not really pleased with the Hulk's depiction in this issue. There's one panel where they're sitting around watching the documentary, and he's kind of sitting there leaning up against a table, and it doesn't even really look like the Hulk there. He's got his hands like wedged between his knees. It's weird. And I
Yeah,
don't know. It's almost like they couldn't figure out what to do with him for this comic. They were like, well, we've got to have the Hulk in here, and we can't have him smash anything, but we've got to have him do something in this issue. What are we going to have him do?
just stand here and be all surly.
Yeah, I guess. And make some weird comments. I don't know. That was the only thing that I found fault with in this issue, was just the depiction of the Hulk was kind of weird. But he did get that great comment to Paladin, who complained about the coffee. He's like, hey, what about cream and sugar? And the Hulk's like, drink it black. That was good. I really enjoyed that.
And I find it ironic that the one hero whose idea was horseback riding was Nova, aka Richard Rider.
Richard Rider, yeah.
Richard Rider,
Rider.
yes.
And the one hero who,
Richard.
out of all those who didn't need to ride a horse.
I know, and I'm like, is Marvel Man flying yet? I know Nova's flies. I'm like, why are they riding horses?
Oh well, I guess Jack of Hearts was flying too, yeah. But it was that whole sequence too was weird. Let's just grab these horses and just start riding them around. What?
I guess they were just trying to figure out stuff for heroes to do and just be annoying and stuff. And they are at the Richmond Riding Academy.
Yeah, let's figure out a way. Yeah. Let's figure out a way to make Nighthawk even more angry. He's clearly not angry enough. Let's figure out a way to make him even more mad. We'll ride around his horses for a bit. We'll make a mess of this riding range.
And it's like the Defenders is already a group, so they probably already have a leader. So I love how everyone shows up. They're like, oh, we need a leader. Let's make it Captain Marvel, Hercules. It's like Defenders probably already has a leader.
Right, and furthermore, Hercules. Out of all these people, you're going to nominate Hercules?
I mean, he has experience, but he's not the most the deepest thinker.
The deepest thinker and the most patient or tactful being on the planet either. Yeah, I don't see the wisdom in that decision either. Yeah.
Well, I think that the argument, oh, he was an Avenger. This area could get away with that anymore if he pull that today. Everyone would be like, "Oh, I was an Avenger. I was an
Avenger too." Yeah. Well, even Stingray at one point was an Avenger, although he wasn't in this issue.
This is
Captain Marvel was, and Carol Danvers.
I don't know if she was an Avenger at this point, but yeah, she does.
I think in the third issue of this story, I think she mentions it.
Oh, okay.
That's like her reasoning for taking off. She's like, well, I just became an Avenger, actually. I was just checking you guys out to see what you guys were all about, but I've already got a gig, so see ya.
Well, looking at these notes, the timing must be weird because I think they said, her black costume that she's wearing in here is new. But it appears here before it debuted in her own book, issue 20, by 2 months.
Oh, it did? Oh my God. Oops. There's another little
for her own book. Yeah.
A special preview. I wonder if the people that were reading her title were irritated by that. I can imagine.
So maybe the whole scene with Hellcat was for them to say, "Oh no, this is Miss Marvel," but she's
yeah. If you don't recognize her, there's a reason. Yeah.
Here we go. With so many characters involved in the story, most of them get few speaking lines. Polaris is the only one with no speaking lines.
Yeah, and I barely recognized her. I forgot about that old ass weird costume that she used to have with the fishnet things and all that.
Like Queen of the Spider.
Oh yeah,
or something. I know.
I'm so glad she switched that up. That costume was junk.
It was.
Yeah. And Havoc too. both Havoc and Polaris are in this. Yeah.
And who draws that classic Havoc suit? I mean, some of it. I mean, I think Sal did too, but it make those big ass things on his head like real big
Yeah.
and pronounced. It's like
Yeah. It makes it look like it should weigh his skull down. Yeah.
Not antenna. They don't. They don't need to
be right. They're not radial discs.
Just looking at this list here.
Yeah, there must be a ton of notes on this issue.
Oh, there is, and like I said, most of it's just like, oh, where did these characters previously appear?
And Captain Ultra and Tagak. Yeah. Where did Tagak come from? Was that like a Daredevil or Spider-Man?
It says his last appearance was Daredevil 72. So.
Daredevil, okay.
Yeah. Hold on. And that was his first appearance. So okay, so this was also his second appearance. Okay.
And I feel like Paladin had been introduced shortly before this.
I'm trying to. Oh yeah, I was going to say it was after this, but I know he did show up in that Marvel team up Loth and I did with Spider-Man and Dazzler.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Where's Paladin? Okay, Paladin. Oh, he previously appeared in Daredevil also.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, and his first appearance was Daredevil 150. So.
Torpedo was from Rom. I knew that.
Oh yeah, didn't a version of that character, from the go on to join the New Warriors?
Yes, yeah. Somebody found the costume years later, and that did have a tie-in to the Rom series in that they battled the nemesis of Rom in that story, the dire wraiths. Yeah, that was cool.
Oh my, okay. Torpedo's first appearance again, Daredevil 126.
Oh, that's so funny.
A lot of Daredevil.
Yeah, a lot of Daredevil characters showing up here.
And his death of the original Torpedo was ROM 50. So
yeah, that was a big deal.
The dire wraiths. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brock Jones, a former professional football player.
Yeah.
Oh, the original NFL Super Pro.
Yeah. Yeah. Super Pro before Super Pro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, God, we probably could have did a whole episode just on this issue.
There's so much happening here.
Lilith Polaris previously appeared on Marvel Team Up 69.
Oh, with Spider-Man and was it just the two of them?
I wonder if Havoc appeared because Marvel Team Up 69 was Polaris's last appearance, and Havoc was in Marvel Team Up 70. So.
Oh yes, was that the one with the Living Colossus? Or the Living Monolith, rather.
The Living Monolith, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but on the cover it's saying Spider-Man and Thor. So
yes, he appeared in the second part. When the Pharaoh became the Living Monolith, that's when Thor came in. Yeah.
Oh, so funny. The cover for number 69 says Spider-Man and Havoc. So they must.
Those are great.
Floating around in those, yeah.
I love those issues.
I know, like Lilith always rolls her eyes for those Marvel team ups, but there's some good stories in there.
I like those. Those are fun little stories.
There's a bunch of them written by Claremont. If you refer to like Chris Claremont stuff, and
John Byrne artwork is always great.
Oh,
yeah, I love those.
All right. So anything else? Anything else on this one, or should we get to the
next? I think we can move on to the next one.
It's been a half hour in the first one. All right. Defenders number 63 from September 1978. Part 2 of Dollar Bill's documentary Disaster, Deadlier by the Dozen. I think it's the same team. Colors Roger Slipher. That might be a different one. All right. How long is this synopsis? Oh, this one's I think it's long, but maybe not as long. Oh, never mind. It might be long. All right. The story opens with the Hulk fighting Black Goliath, Havoc, Prowler, Stingray, and Torpedo. Black Goliath calls for the Hulk to surrender to the defenders. Hulk has no intention of surrendering and easily swats Stingray away. Hulk is then simultaneously blasted by Havoc and Tekak and punched by the Black Goliath. He seems pained from the attacks but does not fall. Nearby, an angry Nighthawk keeps chasing after the Falcon. The Falcon lands on the ground and tries to calm him down. Nighthawk also lands, and the two of them seem ready for a fist fight. Nearby, Iron Fist is riding a horse and tries to stay on the saddle. Falcon and Nighthawk have spooked the horse, and it throws Iron Fist off its back. An angry Hulk manages to throw Black Goliath, Havoc, and Torpedo to the ground. He declares that he has had enough. As the defenders start fighting each other in a free-for-all, Valkyrie and Hellcat look worried about the situation. The two of them ask Hercules to do something about it. Before they have a chance to act, Iron Man arrives. He brings a letter for Hellcat, which had been laying around the Avengers mansion for quite a while. Iron Man informs the Defenders that an entire horde of supervillains were inspired by the Defenders television documentary. They call themselves Defenders and are currently rampaging in Manhattan. Hellcat and Valkyrie decide that the real Defenders have to respond to this threat. Hercules thinks that they first have to restore order to their ranks. Valkyrie suggests reasoning with their disorderly members, but Hercules regards them as bereft from reason and lusting for battle. He has his own plan on how to discipline them by allowing them to comprehend a power greater than their own. Hercules uproots a tree with his bare hands and swings it like a bat. He sends Black Goliath, Iron Fist, Nighthawk, and Stingray flying. He then informs the team about the false defenders and the need to act against them. Captain Ultra thinks that Hercules is a windbag, but chooses not to voice his opinion. No. There is a soul dissenting voice among the defenders, the Hulk. He is still angry due to the attack of the newcomers and feels incensed that they expect him to fight for them. He tells them to fight their own fights and quits the team. He leaps away and disappears. Hercules thinks that the Hulk is a brute and an ill-tempered lout. Valkyrie defends the Hulk by claiming that her friend has suffered much under the hands of men. She thinks that the Hulk is seeking a brief respite from his suffering. With so many available defenders, Valkyrie suggests that they should divide themselves into 3 teams. This will allow them to scout the entire island of Manhattan. She decides that Hercules should lead the first group, Valkyrie herself will lead the second group, and Nighthawk will lead the third and final group. Nighthawk takes the time to apologize to the gathered heroes for his earlier behavior. Hercules gets to choose his team first. He chooses 6 defenders to follow him: Black Goliath, Captain Ultra, Havoc, Hellcat, Iron Fist, and the White Tiger. Hellcat thinks that the villains will not have a chance against their team. White Tiger claims that New York is his own turf. The Falcon volunteers to serve under Valkyrie, primarily to avoid Nighthawk. Valkyrie agreed. She states that she is unfamiliar with most of the Defenders' new members, so she chooses her team randomly. She picks 5 Defenders: the Falcon, Jack of Hearts, Prowler, Stingray, and Torpedo. Nighthawk is content to lead the rest of them. 5 Defenders proclaim their allegiance to him: Marvel Man, Nova, Polaris, the Son of Satan, and Tekak. How do you properly pronounce that dude's name? Is it Tekak?
I think it's Tagak. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not really familiar. Tagak!
Polaris notes that 3 Defenders stand aside and have not joined any of the 3 groups: Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Paladin. The 3 of them actually want to quit. Captain Marvel says that he has seen enough to know that the Defenders are not the right team for him. Paladin explains that he is a mercenary who works for his pay. He is not motivated by idealistic altruism like the others. Miss Marvel claims that she was only here due to her curiosity and her previous experience with the Defenders. She informs them that she has since joined the Avengers. Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel fly away. Paladin leaves on foot, wishing happy hunting to the remaining Defenders. Valkyrie and her team depart first. She rides her flying horse, Aragorn. The Falcon, Jack of Hearts, Stingray, and Torpedo fly on their own. The Prowler cannot fly and has to be transported by Torpedo. Hercules' team cannot fly, and he hesitates to use the Academy's horses for transportation. Hellcat offers to transport them with the Hellcat Mobile, her private vehicle. She only has a seat for herself. Havoc, Hercules, Iron Fist, and the White Tiger struggles to hold on to the speeding car. Black Goliath walks beside the car while Captain Ultra is accidentally left behind. Nighthawk and his group are the last heroes left in the academy. Nighthawk asks what they are waiting for, and the Son of Satan answers that everyone is waiting for Nighthawk's order to depart. Nighthawk asks Hellstorm not to be sarcastic and reminds everyone that he is still their leader. He flies away and commands the defenders to follow him. Reminds everyone that he cannot fly. Nighthawk pays no attention to him, but Damon Hellstrom decides that the others will have to transport. Polaris regrets being unable to join Valkyrie's group. The scene shifts to Greenwich Village. Nighthawk, Nova, Marvel Man, Polaris, and the Son of Satan are flying while jointly transported by Marvel Man and Nova. The crew... He's gonna fall, kids. The group asks the speeding Nighthawk to slow down as they have trouble catching up to him. They suddenly hear someone claiming that a defender stole his car. They interview the victim, and he claims that the defender in question was huge and powerful. The car in question is a speeding luxury car. Marvel Man, Nova, and the Son of Satan cooperate to lift the car in the air and return it to its owner. Nighthawk looks inside and discovers that the car thief is a punk kid. The kid is the owner's son, who is apparently inspired by the Defender's documentary to roleplay as a hero. After threatening his son with punishment, the owner examines his car and discovers a scuff in the paint. He accuses the Defenders of damaging his car and blames it on them, interfering for no reason. Nighthawk, Nova, and Son of Satan lose their temper with the ungrateful man and threaten violence against him and his car. He quickly enters the car and drives away with his son. He threatens, however, to take them to court for their behavior. Nighthawk believes that this was just an idle threat. Polaris wonders whether this is the average dose of danger that the Defenders face. The scene once again shifts to the Soviet Union, where the president encounters a giant amoeba. Sergei recalls that he had caused the atomic accident which destroyed the nearby town of Kristim and apparently created this monster. He was at the time a young geneticist, but the Cold War positioned him to the forefront of nuclear history. He made phenomenal progress in the field, but late in 1957, he made a fatal mistake with radioactive waste disposal. The massive mistake was combined with Sergei's efforts at genetic engineering, and it created a dreadful new strain of amoeba. The president is unaware that his activities are monitored by a military scout. The scout assumes that the president has returned to his power-mongering ways and speeds away to alert the Kremlin. Meanwhile, the president thinks about how he and his allies sought to contain the amoeba in the Siberian Forbidden Zone. He sees the creature still around and decides to stop it in an attempt to ensure the safety of the Soviet people. He unleashes a force blast against the creature. The creature absorbs the blast and craves for more. The president finds himself grabbed by a giant tentacle. The creature swallows him within its body and starts absorbing his radioactive energy.
I don't think those are tentacles.
Sergei realizes what has happened. The amoeba has developed the ability to assimilate atomic energy and actually feeds on it. In his new form, the presence is a living incarnation of nuclear energy, so the creature will feed on his energy and grow stronger. In New York City, Hercules' group of defenders locate the villainous defenders who are in the process of stealing a large number of diamonds. The villain's leader is Sagittarius. Hellcat recognizes Sagittarius as a member of the Zodiac. The defenders for a day prepare to face the villains. Blob mocks Hercules for wearing a skirt. Hercules punches the insolent mortal and sends the blob flying. The battle begins. Jeez. The White Tiger kicks Batroc in the torso, seemingly taking him out of the fight. Whirlwind is running rings around the Black Goliath. He mentions his previous experience in combat against the original Goliath, Hank Pym. The Black Goliath replies that he used to work for Hank Pym. He uses Pym's information about Whirlwind to defeat the villain. Hellcat evades Sagittarius' attacks and then lands on top of him. Nearby, Iron Fist evades attacks by Electro and then uses a sack full of diamonds to knock out Electro.
He hit him with a sack.
The only sack I want to be hit in the face with.
Diamond sack. Hellcat proceeds to face the Looter while White Tiger faces the Beetle. Hercules is surprised that his best punches seem to have no effect on the Blob. At this point, the police arrive and break up the fight. Heroes and villains are discovered holding various sacks of diamonds. The police cannot tell the difference between them and demand explanations. Hercules introduces himself as the leader of the real defenders. He explains that the villains are thieves and that his own team intend to return the gemstones to their owners. Sagittarius instead claims that he and his group were the real heroes and that Hercules is leading a group of villainous imposters. Hercules protests at having his honest word questioned. The police do not believe any of them and announce their intention to arrest both groups. The end.
This is quite a whirlwind of an issue. This was the one that I had read before, and I remember really enjoying it because of all the villains that were in it. We had all of these kind of random crazy villains from all over the place. You had Sagittarius from the Zodiac. You had a couple of Spider-Man villains like the Beetle. You had an X-Men villain with the Blob. You had Porcupine, Batroc, the Leaper, and Whirlwind. Like all of these kind of random villains, all in the taking advantage of this chaos. And I kind of wanted to see more of a battle between these new defenders and these bad guys, these supervillains. Because that was, for me, that was the highlight of this issue, was the fight.
But, and again, I get that we just want the chaos with the defenders, but I'm just like, wait a minute. So Iron Man knew this was going on, but none of the Avengers are showing up for this?
I know. He's got time to drop off a note that Jarvis had swept under the rug for Hellcat. Found the corner poking out under the side of the rug and was like, oh, this is for Mistress Hellcat. He's got time to do that, to run that missive over to Hellcat, but not to deal with any of this other insanity that's going on in the city. I guess he assumed that the defenders would handle it.
I guess. I don't know why. But, yeah.
Oh. And the departures are of Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and Paladin were kind of
abrupt. That was weird too, because I'm just like, okay, if you don't want to work at the Defenders, fine, but wouldn't you just like fly into the city solo, at least Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel, and like try to battle villains yourself on your own?
Yeah, I get that Paladin wouldn't
really have no money involved. Yeah.
I
don't know why he even showed up. Did he think the Defenders got paid or something?
I guess. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, because that was the odd thing. I was like, wait a minute, does Paladin must think there's money involved, because that's the only time he gets involved.
Yeah,
so I was just like, yeah, that's a weird.
Well, maybe he figured that the Richmond estate had a bunch of money.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he was connecting the dots there. I guess, yeah. But after he figured out that there wasn't a paycheck involved, he was out of there. That made sense. But the two Marvels, Captain Marvel, he just said, I've seen enough to know the Defenders are not for me. It was really abrupt and weird, I thought. Yeah.
Again, and if those two would go and fight the villains themselves, but it's like, it's just, no, we're done. Okay, villains rampaging in the city, bye-bye.
Or they could have been like, we're not interested in joining your team, but we're going to help you take care of this menace because we're superheroes and we'll see it through to the end.
Or just the two of us are going to form our own fourth team, okay?
Yeah. The two Marvels. Yeah.
That could have been the ending. It's like, oh, we want you two to join the Defenders. Nah.
Yeah, nah.
That's when Captain Marvel should be like, at the end of the story, no, that's we know it's not for us.
Yeah. So when Wendell was Marvel Man, did he have the quantum bands then, or was it like a?
They were the quantum bands. I mean, I think in his first appearance, he kind of says that they were like created by S.H.I.E.L.D., but again, as we see in Quasar #1 in that flashback, it's like the S.H.I.E.L.D. took possession of the quantum bands.
Okay.
After Marvel Boy blew himself up in that Fantastic Four issue. So
right. Okay.
I don't know if that was Grunwald kind of retconning it and saying, oh, S.H.I.E.L.D. told him, and again, the full potential of the quantum bands wasn't unlocked until Quasar 2 when he meets Eon, and Eon kind of like opens up his mind to the full. Yeah.
He gets an upgrade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And especially, like I said, this is like his second like story I think he appears in. So Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're fully like, oh, what's his powers? I think he shoots light.
Yeah. I think he next appears in what, Dazzler? I think the Dazzler comic that we talked about not too long ago.
Maybe, yeah. There's
Or maybe it's
Dazzler. There's
Spider-Man.
there's a whole Captain America crossover coming up here in a few years. Yeah, he would appear here and there in like certain places, but
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be talking about one of those appearances on one of the episodes this year for your birthday month.
That's right. In April, kids.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Yes.
Yeah, I picked out 3 different kind of older issues that are all Quasar appearances.
Oh my god! Me and Will were talking Quasar last night. And I was just like, "Oh, you know what we should have did? Cosmos and Collision. Oh my god, that's a good story. Quasar series.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 7 issues, but that's such a good. That is like
yeah.
Like Will's like, oh, that's like my favorite cosmic story. I'm like, I don't know if I can say no. I mean, that's.
But could you do it all in one episode though? You might need more than one to talk.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quantum Zone. We used to do 1 issue at a time. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no, like Rudolph even had like of course, like what your gratuitous 90s Ghost Rider guest appearance, and it still works.
Yes, he found a way to make it work.
Oh my god, it was so good too. His Greg Capullo drawn Ghost Rider.
Yes. Oh yeah. There's some great artwork in that series.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was just looking at this villains list. Oh, that synopsis even mentioned some of these villains. Porcupine, Plant Man.
Yeah, we didn't see Plant Man really much in this, but he was there. The Blob.
Yeah.
Batroc. Yeah.
The
Electro. Yeah.
The Looter. You would think Spider-Man would show up in this damn thing because like half these villains are his guys.
Yeah. I love that we have a brief confrontation between Electro and Iron Fist, and they have like the exact same color scheme for their respective costumes. The yellow and green. Oh, it's so great.
Oh, Bob Hall there was no credit for editor. Bob Hall I guess didn't want the credit for editor on this story.
Oh, okay. Scrub my name off it.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, but the ending of this issue was great.
Oh yeah,
this is New York City, Buster, and I've got news for the lot of you. You're all under arrest.
Because that's the thing. That's another reason Hercules shouldn't be leader. Because it's just like, oh, the cops. It's like, oh no, you cops should listen to us. Nah.
Yeah, you're really gonna have Hercules try to talk diplomacy with the police.
He's not gonna understand certain modern things. That's
Yeah, look at the way he gets right in the cop's face. Heed not the slanderous utterances of yon mealy-mouthed cabbage. Throughout Olympus, the word of Hercules is unimpeachable. Yeah, that's not going to hold up in a court of law on Earth, Hercules. Sorry to disappoint you.
Oh my god, it's so funny. It said Captain Ultra Carnival windbag. That's when Hercules, after he picks up that tree, hearken to the words of Hercules, forthwith.
Yeah, what a windbag. Yeah, not the best choice for a leader of this particular group of defenders.
Oh, they do mention Hercules and the Hulk fought before. Well, in Tales to Astonish 79.
Oh, they've fought a bunch of times, yeah.
Well, I guess that was the first one. It's saying the Brutus is ill-tempered and loud as ever. I wonder I don't know if they'll read ahead. I wonder if the Hulk came back in the next arc after all these guys leave, or is he out for a while?
I don't remember actually.
But even
I feel like he did come back not too long after this.
But I wonder too if they just narratively they took the Hulk out because again it'd be so easy to mop up the villains with the
sure. With these villains that they had for this story, yeah, the Hulk could single-handedly defeat all of them. I think the only one that could give him any trouble would be the Blob, but even then, like
oh, he's defeated. Joe Fixit defeated the Blob.
That's right.
Basically called him John Goodman and then beat his ass.
He grabbed his gun and like pulled him out.
The Blob's like, that's not how my powers work. He's like, shut up! Don't tell me how your powers work.
Don't tell me how your powers work. I'll tell you how your powers work.
It was like half of Freedom Force. It was the Blob, Pyro, and Crimson Commando.
Crimson Commando, yeah. Freedom Force. I love that. I always thought that they would bring Freedom Force back in Marvel, like in the current days. Instead of like the Dark Avengers stuff and all that, or the Thunderbolts, like Freedom Force. Like that's total like Team America stuff. It's great.
I think they kind of got again once Claremont left the X-Men, and then we got like the Mutant Liberation Force and stuff.
That's true. Yeah,
like that kind of took their
and most
place.
of Freedom Force was killed off in some backup stories when they were doing some annual crossovers one year. Yeah.
Oh my! Oh, did you see the current stuff? There was a they've kind of updated Nightcrawler's origin. I guess it was an idea Claremont had back in the day. Did you see it?
About
Azazel. Azazel isn't Nightcrawler's father.
Oh, but they kept Mystique as the mom, right?
Well, no.
No. Okay, I guess I didn't know that.
Mystique is his father.
What?
I guess she can basically going transsexual. She can like alter down to her genes. Yeah, his parents are Mystique and Destiny.
Okay.
That's what
Destiny.
they went with. Yeah,
but Destiny was a lot older, I thought. Right?
Well, they did. I mean, the whole thing was basically a flashback. So I don't know how long ago it was, but it's so weird now because they with all the cloning crap with Krakoa, they brought her back. She is younger now. So, but
Destiny, yeah.
I don't know at what point that she got pregnant. But because again, Mystique is shapeshifter. She, I think she's like Wolverine's age. It's like
Well, I do know that they were in a relationship for a while, Mystique and Destiny.
Oh yeah.
Or at least it was implied anyway.
I guess it's been a while. Oh yeah, back in the day you couldn't imply that, but yeah.
Yeah.
So all the neckbeards are up in arms because basically, it's basically, now it's like Mystique is transsexual and
right. Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter was just like, oh man, I didn't realize Azazel had all these fans until they came out and said Mystique.
Yeah, right. Half of them probably didn't even know who Azazel was.
All of a sudden, all these dude bros are like, "No, man, Azazel."
No, that's not right. Well, it totally makes it for any other character. It might not make sense, but for Mystique, absolutely a shapeshifter.
Because I think even like Noel asked her how, and she's like, I can't just, I can shift more than just like the outer physical surface. She's like, I can, she can like shift down to like the molecular level or something.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, it's the Destiny part that's surprising to me because when I was reading comics, I mean, Destiny was portrayed as like an elderly woman.
Oh yeah,
and like Kurt was a young, like I guess in his 20s, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure how,
but I mean, they could.
They really didn't give you a time frame, but I know it wasn't. Yeah, I don't.
That's interesting. Wow, I'll have to check that out. Who's writing that?
Oh, was that is that still? I think it might be Cy Spurrier, maybe.
Okay.
It's X-Men Blue X-Men Blue Origins, I believe. Yeah.
Are they back to doing the blue and the gold stuff with X-Men?
No, they kind of just been using some of those titles sometimes.
I got my hopes up for a minute.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a mini series going on now. Nightcrawler's been hiding out in New York as like the Uncanny Spider-Man.
I saw that with the Spider-Man costume. I saw that.
Yeah, there's the cover there. He is in his Spider-Man.
Right there. Yeah. Now that's intriguing. I might check that out.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
Yeah, that came out not this week, last week. Cy Spurrier writer. Yeah,
I like that.
And it was a decent issue again and again, and it annoyed all the wrong people. So yeah,
always a bonus. Anytime the basement dwellers are in a tizzy about something, it's always a good thing.
All those dude bros telling say, no, that's not how genetics works.
Yeah.
All right, should we get to the last one?
Yes. D-Day.
All right, kids. Defenders number 63 from September 1978. Wait. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, that's 63. No, 64. Right? Yeah. All right. Screen keeps blinking here. All right. No, this one is October 1978. Yeah, D-Day, like you said. Oh, ink's Don Perlin this time.
Yeah, different inker here.
Oh, I was gonna say, is there a synopsis? Yes, there is. All right, kids, strap in again. The NYPD intends to arrest a team of the Defenders for a day, which is led by Hercules, and a team of the villainous Defenders, which is led by Sagittarius. Both Sagittarius and Hercules protest the decision, and each accuses the other team of being imposters and thieves. The unnamed leader of the police officers is enraged when the situation seems with the situation and seems tired of listening to them. Hellcat intervenes and explains that she and Hercules are former members of the Avengers. She tries to use her Avengers ID as evidence, but she finds out that she had forgotten to take the ID with her. Hercules has his own ID with him and offers it to the police for examination. The police officer cannot tell the difference between a real and forged ID. He still doubts Hercules' claim that he is a hero. Sagittarius expects that the truth will surface eventually. He instructs Plant Man to prepare to escape and pass the word to the other villains. Soon, Plant Man uses a giant plant to escape while the Beetle and Whirlwind fly away. The rest of the villains escape on foot. Hercules commands his team to chase the villains. The police are helpless to stop them. The enraged leader of the police shouts that the Defenders will still pay for all the damages they caused. The fleeing villains enter the Grand Central Station and accidentally frighten civilians while simply trying to escape. Beetle and Whirlwind briefly converse about their doubts that Sagittarius knows what he is doing. Batroc takes the lead in trying to escape through the subway. The heroes also enter the station following the White Tiger, who seemingly knows the area. The White Tiger manages to grab the fleeing Batroc and starts grappling with him. The two rival teams of Defenders begin the fight. Hercules punches the Blob. His punches have no effect on the Blob, who mocks Hercules for being a panty waste.
I love that.
I know. The White Tiger continues to fight Batroc while Iron Fist takes down the looter. Whirlwind fights Captain Ultra. David finds his opponent's colorful costume to be an eyesore. The Beetle expects the defeat of his team, but then notices an approaching subway train. The Beetle takes control of the train and gets rid of the driver. The rest of the villains quickly enter the train to escape. Electro prepares to use his electricity to increase the speed of the train. Black Goliath grabs hold of the last railroad car and uses his super strength to try to prevent the train from departing. He only causes the last car to get dislodged from the rest of the train. The train leaves and the villains escape. The heroes are ready to give up on the chase, but Captain Ultra offers to use his scanner vision to follow the train. Captain Ultra flies above ground and is able to see beneath the ground, tracking the movements of the train. He shouts instructions to the other Defenders who try to follow him on foot. He's the only one in his team who can fly. A tired Hellcat suggests that they should retrieve her Hellcat mobile. The scene shifts to the Empire State University. Dollar Bill is happily greets his friend Ledge and Professor Harrison Turk. Ledge had been hospitalized for quite a while. Ledge had just been released from the hospital, but he is still bandaged and uses 2 crutches to walk. Dollar Bill gives him a few pats on the back, but they cause him pain. Harrison Turk changes the topic to Dollar Bill's avant-garde documentary on the Defenders. He wants to know what the team thought of it. Dollar Bill claims that the documentary is ancient history for him and that he is more interested in future triumphs. Harrison Turk has a proposal for him. The scene ends before Turk explains his idea. The scene shifts to Wall Street. A group of Defenders for a day, led by Nighthawk, locates a young boy stealing the handbag of a middle-aged woman. They intervene and stop the thief. The team complains about Nighthawk wasting their time, only leading them to apprehend unruly children. They have yet to locate any supervillain. An irate Nighthawk tries to act as their boss and belittles the team. In reaction, Marvel Man, Nova, Polaris, Son of Satan, and quit the team and leave. Nighthawk is the only remaining Defender of the group. The frustrated Nighthawk learns that the middle-aged woman is the thief's mother. The boy was only trying to steal his allowance. The thief walks away, leaving Nighthawk empty-handed. Nighthawk soon learns that another group of villainous defenders have taken control of the New York Stock Exchange. He decides to go rescue the stock exchange single-handedly. He keeps in mind that his wealth as Cal Richmond depends on the survival of this financial institution. The group of villains is led by Libra. The leader tries to explain what motivates him. He cares about the delicate balance of cosmic justice and strives to restore it. He feels that the defenders tip the scales in favor of order, so he and his partner Sagittarius are trying to create chaos to balance the scales again. This is why they created the villainous defenders. Boomerang has trouble understanding Libra's way of thinking, while Toad adoringly expresses his admiration for the idea. The Shocker has his own idea of how to become wealthy. He threatens a stockbroker called Trip to convince him to invest on the stock market as his representative. A few successful transactions later, the Shocker gets $1 million deposited into a Swiss bank account. He graciously allows Trip to survive the experience. Trip is still shaken and realizes that his own son will not believe his story. Sounds like Dr. E. $1 million.
$1 million.
How about no?
At the floor below, Nighthawk breaks a window and merges into the stock exchange. He quickly punches Joe the Gorilla and causes the villain to drop on his own ally, Captain Scrag. I don't even know if I know these guys.
Yeah, these are really obscure ones.
Joe the Gorilla. First
Captain
appearance.
Scrag.
First appearance, Avengers 77 for Joe the Gorilla. I guess they never revealed his real name, so it's just Joe the Gorilla.
Just Joe.
A man named Joe the Gorilla. Hold on, lost my place here. Oh boy, kids, this is hold on. Hold on, I'm looking for Joe the Gorilla. Here we go. Nighthawk hopes by acting swiftly he can convince the villains that there are other defenders with him. A single blast from the Melter knocks out Nighthawk. The Melter comments that Nighthawk has plenty of spunk but no brains. Ironic considering our last episode. He advises the hero to stay home at the next opportunity. Libra decides that his team has to evacuate the stock exchange before the arrival of other heroes. The Melter asks his leader what to do with the unconscious Nighthawk. Libra decides to leave Nighthawk where he fell, claiming that the hero is finished. Following their departure, a dazed Nighthawk returns to consciousness. He resolves to locate the other defenders and get them to help stop the villains. The problem is that he has no idea about the location of his fellow defenders. And then back on the train with the other villainous defenders, Hercules stands on the tracks in front of the train, determined to stop it. A single attack with his bare hands partly destroys the train and prevents from moving any further. The villains are unable to escape, and Beetle decides to rally the troops. He tells them that there can be only one team to survive, either his own or their heroic defenders. There will be no holds barred in this battle. Electro and the Looter declare that they will fight by the Beetle side. The Porcupine volunteers to face Hercules in combat and threatens to kill him. Battle begins.
That escalated quickly.
Exactly.
Well, that escalated quickly.
All right, next paragraph. Hercules easily defeats the Porcupine, while Iron Fist kicks the Looter's head. The White Tiger punches the Beetle, while Havoc guards the White Tiger's backside from other villains. Nearby, the Blob ambushes Hellcat from behind. Blob has his hands holding her neck in a stranglehold and starts choking her. Her fellow defenders are too preoccupied with their own fights to take notice and help her. Hellcat's air supply is soon running out, and she realizes that she is dying. Suddenly, her eyes turn white, and the subconscious barriers in her mind explode. Her still developing psychic powers lash out blindly and blast every hero and villain in her vicinity. As she is finally able to breathe again, she finds herself surrounded by the unconscious bodies of her friends and foes. She is the last woman standing. She is surprised at what she just did and ponders that Moondragon never warned her that she would be able to perform anything like this. She adds that Dragon never warned her about the migraine that would result of using her powers. As she clutches onto a nearby support beam to stay on her feet, the scene ends. Back to Nighthawk, he has located Valkyrie's group of defenders and informed them of what happened to him and his group. Valkyrie leads the group in search of Libra's villains. Meanwhile, the villains are trying to steal the Staten Island ferry. They plan to use it as an escape vehicle. Joe the Gorilla, Picos, and the Shocker are tasked with driving away the civilians from the ferry. Valkyrie's defenders arrive to confront the villains. Lieber comments that he had expected that the television special would attract plenty of aid for the defenders on the side of order. He created his own defenders, again, as a counterbalance force for chaos. With this goal achieved, he sees no reason to fight. Libra escapes and leaves his team behind. Toad jumps in the water while also trying to escape. The battle between the rival teams of defenders takes place on board the ferry. Joe the Gorilla manages to ambush Valkyrie and holds her neck in a stranglehold. The other combatants fail to notice and help her. While struggling for air, man, a lot of choking women in this issue.
Yeah.
Valkyrie starts hallucinating that Joe is a rock troll from Asgard. In her vision, she is surrounded by weapon-wielding rock trolls. She's overcome from warrior madness and uses her Asgardian strength to break Joe's grip. She then lifts him and throws him away, sending him flying away at great speed. He can only scream. As the Falcon fights with the Leapfrog, the insane Valkyrie attacks them both. She defeats them and sends them flying away. While Leapfrog fails to understand why she is attacking her own allies, Valkyrie proceeds to attack every hero and villain on the ferry and sends them all flying away. The Prowler announces that he wants to quit the team. While flying towards the Statue of Liberty, Boomerang contemplates that Valkyrie is a sick woman. Valkyrie soon stands victorious in the ferry while swearing that she is following Hela's orders. Nighthawk orders her on the ferry and congratulates her on getting rid of all these rookie defenders. Valkyrie turns around and views him as a troll assassin. She grabs Nighthawk, lifts him up from the ground, and prepares to execute him with her sword. Nighthawk tries to remind Val that he is her friend and fellow defender. She does not believe him at first, but then realizes that she is about to kill one of her friends. The warrior madness goes away and Valkyrie is horrified. She believes that she became what she most despises in life, a berserker who revels in bloodlust. Nighthawk tries to calm her down. At this point, Falcon and Jack of Hearts emerge from the waters and climb back on the ferry. Falcon is shocked at what happened to him, but Jack is merely disappointed with the defenders. He announces his intention to resign from the team. As angry Nighthawk tells Jack that someone has to be dedicated to belong to this team, Falcon corrects him, claiming that someone has to be crazy to belong to this team. Nighthawk turns his attention back to Valkyrie, who seems to be grieving. Nighthawk promises to help her and to provide her with the best doctors that money can buy. She claims that there is an ongoing conflict between her Asgardian persona and the mortal body which she inhabits, that of Barbara Norris. She doubts that doctors can understand that. Then, of course, back in the Soviet Union, two scientists are meeting with General Kryov, reporting to him about the condition of the Red Guardian. They have failed to help her return to her normal state. She has been permanently turned into a radioactive being. They recommend keeping her quarantined in order to protect normal humans from her. The general points out that the Guardian is growing restless and they are unable to hold her against her will. The general then receives a written report from the presence has located in the forbidden area. He has apparently awakened the China amoeba. The scientists fear that this means that all mankind is doomed. Now the end.
Man, somebody earned their money writing these synopses.
I
for these
know.
three issues.
Can you imagine being
cow.
like the writer or artist on these things? Man.
Wow.
Man, they
Yeah.
should have got George Perez to draw these things.
Absolutely. Oh, they could have had a million different battles going on in one panel.
Exactly.
It would have been fantastic. Yeah. Now, I still love the art from Sal in this, but yeah, there was a lot going on in this issue, and it almost got to the point where it was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, it just kind of became a mess. You got Libra in there, and like the revelation that there were two different groups of villains that were working like to ferment chaos and yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot in this issue. What did you think of this one, Phil?
Again, yeah, I mean, it just seems degenerating in the chaos because it's like all of a sudden, Libra's here too, and Boomerang, and it's like, wait, okay, what they
Boomerang and Toad and the Melter and the part that annoyed me kind of about this, because this is the first time I read this one, but the part that annoyed me was just the abrupt departure of Nighthawk's little side group.
Yeah, like
Polaris and Nova and Marvel Man and Son of Satan. They're just like, we're out of here.
I mean, I guess we had to clear the decks, but it's just like, again, wouldn't some of these heroes be like, oh, maybe I'll go just like round up villains on my own or something?
Yeah, I'll help you until this is over with, but after this is finished, then forget it, Nighthawk. I don't want to be part of your group. I liked the battles, though. I liked the fights. I mean, I'm always a fan of the fights in these issues. My favorite thing in Marvel Comics is two teams of super beings fighting each other, superheroes and supervillains. That's at the end of the day, that's going to be my favorite Marvel comic, and we definitely get that in this issue for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just it got to be a little muddled. I did like the part, however, with I had forgotten about this too, with Hellcat's psychic powers.
Yeah.
Because I'd forgotten about that little storyline where she had received some training in her abilities by Moondragon. I guess she had some kind of latent psychic powers, but they hadn't been tapped into, and if I remember right, and Moondragon had taught her how to develop that a little bit. Tapping my way downtown. Yeah.
I mean, I like that they try to give her something and not just be like a costume acrobat, but sometimes it seemed like they couldn't decide what to do. It's like, okay, now she has mental powers, or like, oh, this now she meets the son of Satan. Now it's like all occult, mystical.
Yeah, she's got that shadow cloak too in the previous issue. She was talking about that. Yeah, it's like they always tried to give her a little gimmick, like she wasn't. Like, I don't know. Like I didn't feel like she needed a gimmick personally.
No.
Yeah, I felt like they needed to have a character like her in this group. And
I mean, what's his Nighthawk have, a jetpack?
right, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, it seemed kind of like an easy way for them to clear out all those villains, just with a kind of a mental bomb. I was kind of surprised about Valkyrie's little freak out at the end, where she was hallucinating and thinking everybody was troll warriors.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
madness. Yes.
yeah, that part surprised me. I thought, wow, she's really lashing out here. But wasn't that kind of a recurring kind of subplot almost with her as well in this title, where this happened to her a few times, where she kind of lost her cool? And
I think so. I mean, I've read here and there some Defenders. I'm not the most well versed, but yeah, I think there's stuff going on with the immortal body she's habiting and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they're just like two psyches are fighting for control or whatever.
And I wonder if I haven't read a lot of this either, but I feel like it's maybe JMD Mateus that did some resolution to that whole plot line later on, or maybe he revisited it and put a cap on it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but yeah, because I know eventually, they get in the Moondragon has a bunch of stuff going on with her. So
yeah.
So I'm trying to remember if it was just like eventually it's like Valkyrie's the one who's supposed to stop like Moondragon's evil side or whatever is going on there.
Yeah, when there's the whole shadow of the dragon of the moon thing.
Yeah.
That whole situation happened. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to revisit that stuff too at some point.
I was just trying to look for it. I was just scrolling through the next issue. I was trying to see if the Hulk comes back.
Oh, I think I saw him on the cover.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw his head on the cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I figured that they would need the Hulk to go up against that big slime creature that they've been building up to in the subplots of these issues in the Soviet Union. Yeah.
And it kind of looks like everyone who didn't quit in these 3 issues quits by the beginning of the next issue.
Oh yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. That's funny.
Might be some false advertising here. I was gonna say, yeah, the Hulk's head's on the cover, but I don't know if the Hulk's actually in the next issue. Yeah, because and then the issue after that looks like Valkyrie goes to Asgard, so might be
the Hulk.
shit.
The Hulk isn't in this issue.
Oh, maybe not till 67. It looks like.
Oh wow.
But yeah, he's getting attacked by army troops in the beginning of 67.
Okay. Business as usual for the Hulk, in other words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm assuming he's not out of here. Oh, looks like they at the end of 67, Nighthawk and the others like hooked back up with him.
Yeah, he was in the Defenders a lot. I didn't think that he was. I think it wasn't until DeMatteis took over the title that he.
I think he was in some. I thought he was in some of those, but maybe not.
Maybe I don't remember, but I think that I think that may have had more to do with what was going on in his comic rather than
maybe
something else. If I'm remembering my timelines correctly,
because I was gonna say, when did we get Banner's brain in the Hulk's body? Was that going on around at some point?
That was early 80s.
So I'm trying to remember.
I think
the DeMatteis run was that like late 70s, early 80s. So
it was right around there. Yeah,
but it's so funny. You get years of dumb Hulk, but then all of a sudden you get a smart Hulk, and it's like, no, it can't be in the book.
It's so funny.
And again, by New Defenders, basically, I think they replaced everyone except for maybe Valkyrie.
Yeah, I think she was the only one that stuck around through all that. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, Doctor Strange, maybe, but I was going to say, besides Doctor Strange, probably the 2 that made the most appearances throughout the series were probably Hulk and Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And everyone's favorite, the Hulk.
But this really was the best place for the Hulk. Like, if you're going to have the Hulk in a team setting, like the Avengers, in my opinion, the Avengers never made sense.
Avengers is a little too formal, yeah.
Yeah, and it just doesn't make sense to me. It never did. But the Defenders, to me, that makes total sense for the Hulk as a member of a team setting.
Oh yeah, the non-team, yeah.
Yeah, a loose affiliation where he can just come and go as he pleases. Yeah, it's perfect for the Hulk.
And again, that original lineup, it's these guys on the edge of society. They're not your classic heroes. You got the Hulk, you got Doctor Strange, who's all into the occult. You got Biscuit of the Sea, and then you got Silver Surfer from outer space. Yeah,
a bunch of outcasts. Yeah, they're from outer fringes of everything. The outer fringes of the universe, outer fringes of magic stuff. Yeah.
But you knew that lineup wasn't going to stay long because Surfer's eventually going to get back to space, and of course Namor gets along so swimmingly with.
Yes, with everyone. He's got that winning personality, that charm and charisma that we all love. It's like a tidal wave.
Justin's like, I'm not here for his personality.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, he doesn't even need to say a word.
Justin's like, I see those abs, and he's got the best personality. I don't know.
Yeah. Namor's like, my eyes are up here.
Oh my god! Somebody had a cartoon on. I think it was on Facebook, and it was it's just this woman standing there in front of this guy, and she goes, "What are you looking at? My large breasts are down here."
Poor guy didn't know what to do.
Exactly.
Those boobs scare me.
All right. All right. This was a long one, but we needed to because there is so much in this.
There's a lot that happened here. So many characters.
Again, I don't think we did it justice. I mean, kids, go read this. It's on Marvel Unlimited.
Definitely check this out and let us know what you think. Let us know how you would have changed this as well. Because I don't know, Phil, I would have had a couple of these characters stay around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe not like the real heavy hitters, but just a couple random ones, just for a few issues.
Yeah.
For a story or two. Like they don't have to go to the Soviet Union with the Defenders, but they can hang out in the city and do something else on the side.
Oh, they hire Hercules or someone to be, put the rookies through the, like boot camp or whatever.
Yeah, on the training compound. Yeah, the Richmond estate.
Yeah. And of course, Wendell Vaughn's one of my favorites. Of course, I want to see him, but it's like him, like who's doing anything with Captain Ultra? I mean, you could have had Captain Ultra hang around.
Captain Ultra. They could have given him a better costume and put him in there.
But you knew everybody with their own monthly book wasn't going to stick around, like Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. I think Nova had his own book. Yeah,
Nova had his own book. He wouldn't have stuck around. Yeah. Son of Satan, I think, might have had his own stuff or maybe appeared somewhere else. Yeah. Even though Son of Satan did come back, and joined the Defenders not too long after this, and he was a member of the team for quite a while.
Even got in a relationship with Hellcat, which we kind of talked about in October when we did that Hellstorm series.
Yes, that was the dark side of their relationship, I guess you could say. What happened in the years later?
Boy, who'd think it would go dark when you marry a guy called the Son of Satan?
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong there?
Exactly. All right, Justin. Anything else on these?
No, I think we did it justice. Yeah, but definitely, listeners, check this story out on Marvel Unlimited. Read this and let us know what you think. There's a lot going on in here. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of subplots too. There's a lot going on here.
No elves with guns, but yes, there were some subplots in here.
No baby deer with the minds of supervillains implanted in their heads. Oh my God.
Oh Lord. That's what I need, a panel of that elf. Just be like, what? Listen to the next episode featuring the Defenders. This elf's going to come to your house and shoot you. For no apparent reason.
For no reason. Just because he can.
You're an angry little elf. Oh man, that Wolf will drop ready. You're an angry little elf.
You're an angry little elf.
All right, so yes, kids, 2 more weeks of Defenduary, because next week we'll cover JMD Mateus's time on the book, and as he crosses over the 2 books he's writing at the time, Captain America 268, so close love, and Defenders 106.
Nice.
And then, yes, we'll round out the end of the month on the new Defenders with a review of Defenders 112 through 114.
Which was another one of my picks. I love that story. Featuring Noel the Living Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, kids. So, yes, send us all your thoughts on that. Yeah, we got good stuff coming in February, too. We got 2 weeks of Hawkeye. Oh, we got 3 weeks of Hawkeye.
3 weeks of Hawkeye, yeah. Different eras of Hawkeye, actually. Yeah.
And then we'll cover some issues of Rom, because the Romnibus will be out. Yes.
The Romnibus will be out then. I'm really excited about that, Phil.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
New territory for me. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to love it.
All right. You're going to love it, kids. All right. All right. So send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, and the Patreon.
Yes. Join me in the Patreon Elite. You get all the perks, all the bonus episodes, all the uncensored Lilith Hellfire rants you could possibly want.
It's like Defender for a day every month over there, kid.
That's right.
Oh my god. Oh my god. If we ever do another, like we used to do a podcast marathon or two with Rob Southgate. Oh my god, if we did something like that on our own, oh my god, it'd be like Capes and Lunatics for a day. Do you call yourself a podcaster? For 24 hours, you can be a member.
Oh man,
no matter where the
go out of control.
If you do any kind of podcast, yes, you can be part of the Capes and Lunatics for one day.
That could go out of control just as much as these comics did.
Be a Cape and Lunatic.
Sounds like a plan, Jan.
All right, so find everything at tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. And if you send some feedback, you may end up getting a prize, because I do have some prizes I got to get. Yes, merch, some comics. Yes, because we're doing a big giveaway over on the Green Lantern podcast. So,
love it. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Justin the Owl. You can hear him every week here on Marvel Tales. You can hear him at the end of every month on We Are the Night, the Batman podcast. Talking Azrael, where Russell may be joining us. And he also joins us on Energon Universe, where we talk the new Transformers stuff every month. The brand new stuff from Image Comics. And twice a month, we're on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast with Tyler, talking Superman comics in order.
Post-crisis Superman.
Exactly. And that is not all, because the new king of podcasting has so much more. So, Justin, tell them where they can find you.
That's right. If you want to hear even more of my voice every month, you can find me on Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, with my pal Russell, where we talk about the Incredible Hulk and Sensational She-Hulk twice a month, as well as a live episode where we review their new comics every month. We also have a Patreon page, so do check that out. And we are also joined over on Predator and Prey by our friends Ray and Sparky. And we talk about Fox's Predator twice a month in comic books, action figures, movies, and more. And Russell and I are doing a podcast based on DC's wily demon Etrigan called Gone the Form of Man, the Etrigan podcast. We're covering Jack Kirby's Demon series in its entirety. And last but not least, the Lost Library of Legends. When this is my solo podcast dedicated to the undiscovered comic book gems of the last few decades. And when this episode comes out, actually, I'll be doing a spotlight on a title from Impact Comics from the early 90s. Yeah, so tune in and check that out.
Oh, nice.
I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod.
That's right, boys. If you're packing a cosmic control rod.
That's right. You know where to find me.
No. This man is in a committed relationship. No, if you're young, dumb, and packing a cosmic control rod, I gotta hook you up with a little hellfire.
Superior puss. Talking about meat is so natural for Lilith.
Yeah, talking about meat is so natural.
Only talking.
I was gonna say, see, Lilith, you can't leave me alone, all right?
Things in common, cannabis and comics and other things starts with C.
All right. Thank you for joining us for this extra long madness of Defenders today. Again, come back next time as we throw Captain America into the mix.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the month, we'll get to the new Defenders. Face an X Factor by any other name.
Yes.
All right, kids. Come back next time. I got nothing.